Chapter 4, Biological and Psychological Theories of Delinquency. This is a narrated version of this chapter PowerPoint presentation. Introduction. What drives some people to break the law and sometimes harm others? Classical explanations can be unsatisfying. The positivist school of criminology is much more interested in the reasons that people violate the law. Biological theories of crime seek to provide a physical explanation for offenders' actions. Outdated examples, atavism, body types, and phrenology. Advanced include neurotransmitters, hormones, and genetics. First biological theories of crime. The first theories were developed after the development of modern methods of scientific research in the 19th century. They stemmed from ideas that the natural world and all that lived in it could be classified, cataloged, quantified, and predicted. Cesar Lombroso and the atavisms studied physical features that asserted that offenders weren't as fully evolved as non-offenders. William Sheldon and body type postulated a relationship between the physical appearance and temperament. Franz Joseph Gall and phrenology stated that criminal personality is related to the size, shape, and topography of the skull. Heredity. One popular concept, criminality can be inherited by children from parents through genes. Early attempts to link heredity and genetics to crime used family trees and included work by Jukes, Edwards, and Beck versus Bell in 1927. Some traits appear to be transmitted from parents to children through genes. Studies that some behaviors are heritable and predictive of substance abuse and aggression and include extroversion, introversion, cognitive deficits, conduct disorder, and anxiety. Studies of twins and adopted children seek to distinguish between learned and inherited behaviorals. Studies individuals with same genetic makeup but different life experiences. Identical twins are ideal. Studies of identical twins raised in separate families in comparison with fraternal twins. Studies of twins and adopted children compares legal records of adopted children to those of biological and adoptive parents. Conclusions of these types of studies, separating genetic and environmental influences is difficult. Studies are limited to very small samples, and consistent relationship between the antisocial behavior of biological parents and children, even when adoptive parents, fraternal twins, and separate environments are considered. Biological factors interact with social and environmental factors. Fishbein summarizes this research. All human behavior has a genetic component. No genes for or biological causes of specific human behaviors. No one is predestined to behave in a certain way or to break the law. And social and economic deprivation, environment conditions, psychological trauma, and abuse can lead to antisocial behavior. Neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are chemicals that transmit information between neurons. This function is at least partially determined by genetics. The neurotransmitters that receive the most attention are dopamine and serotonin. Dopamine is associated with aggressive and violent behavior, and some studies have linked increase in dopamine to psychotic behavior. Serotonin has been linked to poor impulse control in low levels and aggressive or violent behavior. Alcohol complicates the effect, and some studies have shown that alcohol can lower serotonin levels. Norepinephrine and epinephrine are important to the regulation of our reaction to stress. Monoamine oxidase metabolizes serotonin, dopamine, epinephrine, and norepinephrine. Low levels are associated with psychopathy, aggression, violent behavior, alcoholism, sensation-seeking behavior, and impulsivity. Hormones. Sex and stress hormones. In males, testosterone has been linked to increased aggression and sex drive. Lower levels in females. After puberty, male testosterone levels are roughly 10 times greater than that of females. Links between androgens and aggression in boys. Biosocial theory. This theory seeks to explain how environmental conditions interact with the body to produce behavior. Utilizes a Darwinian theoretical framework to explain why behavior is established and why it continues. Considers the effects of evolution, including heredity, on the brain and human behavior. Walsh has 5 objectives to biosocial theories. Number 1, they're deterministic and socially dangerous. Number 2, they can't be genes for crime because crime is socially constructed. Number 3, if a problem is considered biological, therapeutic nihilism will ensue. Number 4, crime can't have a biological basis because crime rates change rapidly and changes in genes require many generations. And 5, biological theories tend to be insensitive to people's feelings. Psychological theories of crime, particularly crucial to the study of delinquency. Adults are expected to know right from wrong. These assumptions can't be safely made about kids. Why? Recognizing right from wrong is the result of socialization, and kids' bodies and mind undergo constant change. Psychodynamic perspective, cognitive development and delinquency, moral development, effects of intelligence, mental retardation, and personality on antisocial behavior are all issues looked at with psychological theories of crime. The psychodynamic perspective, how to explain behavior. Freud's psychoanalytic theory suggests behavior is motivated by inner forces, memories, and conflicts, and he suggests psychosexual development, children must pass through a number of stages, and behavior problems result from problems at these stages. Piaget's cognitive development. Children learn through 2 primary processes. 1, assimilation. Infants learn according to how they already comprehend the world. And 2, accommodation occurs when infants encounter new things. Piaget postulated 6 stages of sensory motor development between birth and 2. Children learn cognitive skills throughout childhood, which can affect delinquency. Moral development, based on the theories of Kohlberg. Where do kids learn moral values? How are moral values developed? The ability to make good decisions develops slowly. Kids can be ignorant to the correct behavior for a specific situation, confused by competing demands for their loyalty, and not understand that their actions are their own choices. Kohlberg's theory of motor development, moral development, suggests humans progress through stages in which they learn to apply ethical behavior and develop a sense of justice and fairness. Until age 13, children aren't cognitively equipped to move beyond conventional morality. Only about 25% of adults move to post-conventional morality. Piaget and Kohlberg say kids' peer relationships with peers are key to developing pro-social attitudes and relating to others. Jillian looked at gender and morality. Boys consider morality in broad principles such as justice, while girls consider it in terms of compassion and relationships. Girls' stages of moral development include orientation through individual survival, goodness of self-sacrifice, and morality of nonviolence. Intelligence and crime. Goddard, most inmates are feeble-minded. Binet developed the intelligence test and concept of mental age. Stern and Thurman developed the intelligence quotient based on a 100-point average at the center of the bell-shaped curve. This would be the standardized IQ test. Relationship between low IQ and delinquency. Research shows low IQ doesn't directly cause delinquent behavior, but it is a risk factor. It does affect school performance, self-control, and susceptibility to pressure from antisocial friends. Intelligence tests criticized as culturally biased. Mental retardation and crime. Mental retardation, significantly sub-average intellectual functioning. Mentally ill, intellectually disabled, and learning disabled are funneled into the justice system instead of into treatment or education. Nearly half of all juvenile inmates need special education. Freud, personality, and delinquency. Freud believed there were 3 parts of the personality called the id, ego, and superego that work together. 3 criticisms: components are difficult to measure, the contention that personality is fixed in early childhood, and it has an outdated view of women. Is there a criminal personality? The Glueck study found some characteristics were more pronounced in delinquents than in non-delinquents, and those included extroversion, impulsivity, hostility, fearlessness, suspicion, and low self-esteem. Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory, also called the MMPI, is an accurate personality test in distinguishing offenders from non-offenders. The MMPI can predict some violent offending. That ends this narrated version of this PowerPoint presentation.